Back live tonight, Joan in Focus. Well, we get into this story now. The Democratic Alliance AfriForum say Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi, allegedly at the center of a cover-up of corruption, money laundering and fraud. The Premier has been accused of repeatedly failing to release numerous reports on corruption in the province, and some which, of course, are dating back to before his time. The Premier joins me in studio now for his response on some of these issues. Good to have you, Premier. Thank you
so much. How are you well?
I'm well. Hope you're well too.
Thanks. Now I'll be fine one day, don't I?
Well, look, the big matter here is not the 4 forensic reports which you have released since December. It seems there are 170 that would have been done at least since 2019. And my immediate question when I look at that is that they are in your office. Are they still not your responsibility to release?
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to clarify this matter. I said, and I still want to emphasize that particular point, if you accuse me that I've not released the report of 2014 when I was not the Premier, it's quite clear that you are backing up at the wrong tree. If you accuse me that I've not released a report that was concluded, finalized around 2018, and I was not the Premier, you need to have a valid reason why you're accusing me to say I'm either harboring corruption or hiding any other thing. The only reports that I received were 4 when I was given the honor to lead this province. And after I've studied the 4 reports, I released them. Yeah. Any other report, like the number that you are quoting, obviously there will be huge on my desk where I would have visibly seen them, or in our document boot, I would have seen them, but I've not seen them. And I've asked people to say, but where are this report? And I've asked even the DA itself to say, if you say I'm hiding report, please tell me which report, what was the topic of that report, and when was it published and finalized? And
they say they have 170, I forget the expression, but I think they say they have ICL numbers, or they have some kind of number.
And I've requested it so that I'm in a position. Number, but in my office, the only report that I released last was the lifestyle audit of all the HODs, which was done by the SIU. That's the only report that is outstanding, where I'm waiting with the South African Secret Service. They're doing the lifestyle audit of MECs. As soon as I get that report as well, we'll be in a position to release it. But the political term that I'm in as the Premier from October 2023, there's no single report that was concluded, finalized, either by SIU, the Hawks, or the SAPS, or any institution that I was assigned to investigate. There's no single report that I've not given. I might be accused of reports that I don't know, and I think that's the basis of their accusations.
So this whistleblower information, are you disputing that it exists, that there is, I think it's close to 2 billion that they are saying would have been involved here, particularly that has to do with the program called Sustainable Livelihoods that was sitting in the Department of Social Development?
That report was concluded by Premier Makura, not me. So if I'm accused of not releasing that report because Premier Makura is no longer there, it's unfair to me. Say Office of the Premier rather than say Panyaza Lesufi as an individual is hiding that report. And that report, I'm quite sure everyone knows now that is in the hands of the law enforcement agencies, and they're working around that report.
Yeah, you as the Premier's office now, not as an individual.
Personally, I've not even read that report.
I don't know it. Okay, but as the Premier's office, you don't. I think there is an expectation that there is a place, a website, after these things have been handed to you. For example, like the SIU report, which was handed to you in August. I tried to look. It's not on the SIU website, but I know there was a process of the report being handed over to you. Is there a place where these things exist that people can go and peruse them?
As I said, there are 4 reports when I arrived that I got on my desk, and those particular reports, I released them publicly. Secondly, we've got an arrangement with SIU outside their proclamation by the President when they have to investigate the matter. Where we feel we don't have the capacity to conduct forensic investigations, we request them to do that on our behalf, and then they give us a report. The only report that I know that they've given us and advised us not to release at that time, it was the report that was related to the hospital called Anglo Ashanti. And when they finalized it, we released that particular report and made it public.
Yeah. So the view that these released reports are also sanitized and they don't contain details. For example, that Anglo-Ashanti report, they're saying there's a corruption to the value of 588 million, if not more, and 144 that would have been added there. So are you saying those amounts are correct?
I don't understand what is sanitizing, because the people that investigate report, when they give you, there are disclaimers that they indicate. For example, they'll tell you, don't release the names of the whistleblowers. And we know the importance of protecting whistleblowers. Is that sanitizing the report? I don't think so. It's respecting the people that have given the information. Secondly, they will indicate that until the matter has gone through the disciplinary processes, there's certain information that must not be in the public space, so that you don't alert the people that are going to be charged on the basis of the information that you have. Is sanitizing reports? I don't think so. And thirdly, there are some reports that you have to get permission from the person that investigated for you to put it in the public space. And we normally get those permissions, and that's the reason why we release them. But I want to emphasize this point, Thabo. I came into office in 2023. Yeah. As I'm speaking to you now, there's no single report that was commissioned by myself that I've not released. Reports that were commissioned before, I only found 4 reports and I've released them.
Let's talk then about this matter where the 13 officials seemingly were under investigation for misconduct as far as this livelihoods program is concerned, are now have been reinstated. And it's attributed to you that you said, look, these were people who were placed on special leave in order for them not to interfere with the investigations and not to intimidate the witnesses. But there were no formal charges that were laid on these individuals, hence they were back in January 2024.
I'm not sure, maybe there's confusion. When MEC Mbali Hlope, the then MEC, suspended the 13 or I don't know how many people, I can confess to you, I was not consulted or briefed to say I'm going to suspend. When I appointed the new MEC Faith Mazibuko, she took a decision to reinstate those people. Never corresponded with me to say, Premier, I established XYZ on the basis of this, I'm bringing this individuals back. Why my name is dragged when they were suspended, I was not involved. When they were reinstated, I was not involved. It's those that are accusing me that can explain that particular matter, because there are matters that end up with MECs that don't even come to my office or to my desk for me to either concur or support those particular views. I saw there's another report, they say when I was acting MEC for social development, there as well, they are crying at the wrong funeral, because I've never said any report must be hidden or any report must not be released. All the reports that are initiated from the office of the Premier are reports that are released by the Premier. I only established when I came to the office, there were 4 reports that were on my desk, and I released those particular reports.
So your statement of saying they're backing the wrong tree, now they've also applied for a prior act in 30 days. They would like to get this particular report, which you're saying is a 2018 report of former Premier David Makhura, released. Are you saying they're not going to get that in 30 days?
Not necessarily. I mean, I respect laws. I've taken an oath to adhere to regulations and laws of our country. And if they've made that application, I think that's the best way so that we can be in a position to engage with the law and check which are the reports that are outstanding. As I said, there are reports that are instituted by MECs, so maybe they are referring to those MECs. But reports that are or were initiated by myself as the Premier, from 2023, there's no single report that is outstanding. If there are reports that predates my arrival, hopefully, through this particular act, they will be in a position to indicate which reports, and hopefully, if they're available, where they're available, they will be released. But I've not hidden or not released any report under my care or that I commissioned, and I could not even conclude those reports that have been outstanding. There are only 2 reports that are outstanding from my side. Is the reports on the lifestyle of the MECs that were appointed after after Premier Makhura, and the new MECs that were appointed now. Their lifestyle audits are the one that are outstanding. And those are the reports that I've personally commissioned, that I can't be accused that I'm hiding them, because they've not been concluded.
Another one that has not seemingly been done at all at the moment, but it's according to the DA, the service provider, has been paid, is the report on Rahim Musa. Is that coming from your office?
No. I'm not even aware of Rahim Musa. I know the Rahim Musa case was conducted by the Health Ombudsman, Professor Mal Khapur, and that report was also released publicly by the Health Ombudsman.
There is no current one that you're aware of?
No, there's no current one that I'm on. I've not commissioned it. Maybe it's the Department of Health or the MEC responsible for that department.
Corruption across, they're saying, government departments, your government departments, is amounting to 2 billion rands, according to these forensic reports.
Well, as I said, they can indicate that. Maybe they've seen those reports that I've not seen, so it will be very difficult to dispute their figure or to agree to their figure, because I'm not aware of those particular figures. What I know is that the Auditor General have audited our books. We received our final report a week ago, and that final report says that all government departments in Gauteng have good financial records, and 8 of those departments got clean audits. That's the official report from an independent body that is operating, that is checking our books according to the law.
Yeah. So what do you think is at the heart of these complaints that are coming to you?
It's bitterness. Unfortunately, they're bitter, that they're not part of government, and they've identified myself as a person that they can utilize to advance their agenda. They've polished their Stratcom strategies of ensuring that you identify somebody within the liberation movement, paint that particular person as unreasonable, paint that particular person as racist, paint that particular person as incapable, and paint that particular person as an individual that cannot work within the collective, and something that is not me. But it's within their rights to do that. They've been harassing me, they've been releasing wrong information, and they've been trying their level best to paint a picture that the government that I have the honor to lead can run the provincial government, regardless of evidence, either from the Auditor General or from all institutions. Today, we also released the report about the quality of life in Gauteng. So we will respect their right to exist, but we'll always resist wrong information being deposited in the public space to paint us as people that are corrupt.
Yeah. Have you been a stumbling block in their, I suppose, advancing in the government, especially in Gauteng?
Surely not. You know, the negotiations to establish government of Gauteng, we led, and I'm saying we, on the basis that was led by those that are in the PEC of the ANC. I was not even part of those negotiations. And deliberately so, because I knew if I'm part of those particular negotiations, I might not provide guidance if they're deadlocked or if people deadlock. And when they said individual deadlocked, we requested our national leadership to intervene. And our national leadership took over the negotiations from us and entered into discussion with the national leadership of the DA. It was when they deadlocked at national level that our national leadership gave me the go-ahead to say, go and announce cabinet without the DA. So at no particular stage that I was involved. When the former mayor of Tshwane was removed, I was not in the country. It was the national leadership that took a decision that the ANC can't vote against its own motion, because the ANC that put motion. You don't put a motion and then vote against the same motion. So it was the national leadership that we must remove Councillor Brink from being executive mayor of Tshwane. I was not even in the country. Why I've been blamed, I don't know. As I say, we come from this, where the script is the same, but the characters are different. There have been leaders in the ANC that have been brushed as unreasonable, that have been brushed or been radical, been brushed or accused of things that they've not done, purely because they want to have this public opinion about those particular individuals. And it's my turn, so I must face and confront that situation currently, because I'm not going to run away. I will deal with those issues, and I'll put evidence, I'll put facts to demonstrate that the accusations that have been painted against me, they're not true. As I said, all the reports that they claim, and I'm glad that even in their statements, they say reports from 2019. And me and you know, 2019 I was not there. So if you say office of the premier, then guilty as charged. But if you say Panyaza as an individual, it's quite clear that it's a misguided campaign where people are crying at the wrong funeral.
Are you then saying that, I mean, when they raise these issues, you're saying, well, I mean, they happened before my time, so I'm really not going to go dig up these reports?
No, not necessarily. That is why I asked them. I was not there. So, and I've asked, when this accusation started to flare up, I asked all the MECs, give me reports that you've commissioned that are with you. I've asked our legal team, go and check for this report so that I know if they're available. And if they're indeed available, even if they predate my arrival there, I'll be in a position to release them if they're there. Why will I hide them? Why will I release those that I found and not release those that are there? And also, the issue should be to the same political party. Why want those reports now? Why would have not asked those reports in 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18? Why will you want them in 2024? On the basis of what?
Well, they believe now they've been leaked by a whistleblower, so it's something that has emerged now that this whistleblower has given them this
but the whistleblower is saying the reports of 2019.
Yeah.
So why then associate them with me as an individual rather than me occupying an office? And that's the gray area that, unfortunately, I'll always insist that they're crying at the wrong funeral.
Let's talk then about, your involvement, because I know certainly this is a conversation that I would have had with you.
Yeah.
When you came in as the chair of the ANC in the province, but also as the premier, you managed to take back, you were proud of it, a lot of DA-led municipalities, including your negotiations in Ekurhuleni and your negotiations in the city of Johannesburg.
That was a political game, which needs to be a tool to develop our communities, be a tool to enhance political stability, maturity, be a tool that can be used to ensure that we don't have the limitations that we have. When the Democratic Alliance was in charge of some of the municipalities, as a premier, they will not even attend joint planning meetings. They will not even attend sessions that we have to plan together to ensure that the province as a whole can work together. For the very first time, from tomorrow, in the next 2 days, from tomorrow until Thursday, we will plan together as municipalities in Gauteng in a summit. Something that was unthinkable because we could not deal with this matter.
Yeah. I asked the MEC, he was here on Sunday, I said, the reason why you're having the summit is that now you finally have Tshwane, because before you couldn't have this turnaround summit of local government outside of Tshwane.
Not necessarily outside of Tshwane. Midvaal has been led by the DA for quite some time. They're doing very well. I always encourage this municipality to use Midvaal as a study case. They always attend. They always are there. But then there are municipal executive mayors that come and they say they don't want to be part of discussions planning together. Yeah. You can't fight crime in Tshwane alone. You have to cry collectively as a province, transport collectively as a province, another thing. We're not only proud that we've stabilized the municipalities, but we really believe that we are now starting with the actual work of servicing our people.
Do you think the failure of vetting Kabelo Kwamanda would have been your failure as well? You failed the residents of Johannesburg by not properly assessing him and his fitness?
Kwamanda is not a member of the ANC. I really sometimes find it extremely difficult for people to feel that we are responsible for that. We are responsible for giving you an executive mayor by the name of the late executive mayor. We had two masters of finances. What happened? Voters didn't vote for him. And because they didn't vote for somebody that has two masters in finance and somebody that was the executive mayor, we had to run municipalities with other political parties. Yeah. And when other political parties give you their candidate, what do? You accept the candidate that they give you because you want to establish government. But I'm glad that the mayor today met with MMC Kwamanda and they've taken a decision that he should take special leave. I really feel that that's the best decision that the executive may have assisted us to arrive at.
You think the pressure to form government is so much that I suppose the due diligence sometimes gets overlooked?
Not necessarily. I know when we had to appoint the first mayor of Johannesburg, I think it's Thapelo, we had to put some vetting processes. It's just that I can't recall on, because he replaced Thapelo, whether that process was carried out. But I know, because the ANC felt that it's very important that we understand who are we going to bet with, and it's very important that we are sure of these particular individuals. We did that vetting, but when the same political party changed people, maybe at that moment, something would have not been followed up. But I've seen reports by the leadership of the ANC in Johannesburg claiming that they've done that vetting. And I can believe them because the charge were not late by that time. Maybe that's the reason why they could not pick it up.
Yeah. Would it be premature for the executive mayor of the city of Johannesburg to exercise his prerogative in terms of appointing his executive to fire Kabelo Komando at this point? Why put him on special leave?
That's how we work. We have to consult the party that is involved. We can fire that. If it's a member of the ANC, it's easy to fire that. But when we've developed a relationship with other political parties, you have to give them a hearing. I suspect maybe to have this particular leave, it will allow the executive mayor to also consult the political parties affected, but also to brief other political parties so that when we take this decision, we can all own it and defend it.
Now, I know you've squared up with National, and but I want you to say it here on this platform as well, that you want to answer this tough question or not, whether you are launching a campaign against the SG of the ANC.
No, not necessarily. I will never do that. I think it was misunderstood, misinterpreted as a particular campaign. I'm not in a campaign. I've said it, I've put it publicly, that I have no interest at all to lead the African National Congress at that level. I'm still wet behind my ears, and I don't think that where we are, a person of my caliber can be utilized to lead the African National Congress. I think there are better leaders that can take the ANC to the next level. It might be an interpretation that went wrong on the basis of a podcast that I participated in, or my desire to rectify the accusations that were posted by the leader of the DA. And I felt I have the right to rectify those. And after that, I think other people misinterpreted that either launching a campaign or undermining the leadership of the ANC. I will never do that. I'll never define myself outside the leadership of the ANC. I'll always respect the leadership of the African National Congress. But besides, I was called by the national leader, office bearers. We discussed the matter, and we all agreed that the matter must end here. And I'll respect that. I'll never reopen it at any form or any platform.
No, it's outside of the ANC culture to have succession conversations. But look, they're happening anyway. Would you decline if your name was lifted for that position?
Well, I'm not ready. Definitely, I don't think that it's something that I will consider. And I really feel that there are other people that are capable, talented, skilled to take the ANC to the next level.
There are other issues, of course, that are now pinned to you, but I don't want to get to them because even water has been blamed on you because apparently you are not properly applying Section 139. But have you had a call from the police officers, the Hawks? Is any of the criminal justice institutions giving you a call for investigating? Because the others are saying, well, the Hawks must look closely into your affairs and your involvement in this so-called cover-up.
No, not necessarily. I mean, the last time I discussed with the law enforcement agencies, it was me requesting them to assist us in fighting crime in the province. So I've never had a call, and I doubt I'll have that particular call, but other people will have those particular wishes on the basis of what I don't know.
Premier, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much for coming on and finally coming in and having this particular conversation and caring it particularly for the residents of Gauteng.
Say oi oi.
Oi oi. That is Premier Panyaza Lesufi there on some of those challenges that he has been, of course, having to deal with, mostly on social media, but of course, now and again, having to sit down and articulate what his position is on these matters.